Привit. I'm Chuck Olenek. I'm a Ukrainian-American baptized with the name Yaroslav, which is also the name I use in the Society for Creative Anachronism, a historical reenactment group. And what I've been doing of late since I put together a YouTube channel, I decided I would start doing videos to make use of all this research that I did on Slavic mythology and folklore and Slavic history and all that stuff. All right, so thought I would turn these things into these different chapters into videos and put them up on the channel. Which, by the way, if you subscribe, that'd be like really cool. It is January 2nd, as I'm filming this, the day after New Year's, and this would be the Koliada festival. Originally, the Koliada festival was a Slavic thing, and it was usually begun on the longest night of the year, the winter solstice, and it would go on for 12 days. Well, then Christianity came along and everything kind of shifted over, so it would start on Christmas and then end at Epiphany. And if you're doing the Eastern Orthodox calendar and the old calendar, that would be January 6th to the 19th. And during that time, bonfires get lit, and male carolers are wearing long sheepskin coats, and they're wearing grotesque masks that represent animals like wolves and bears and goats, which is why sometimes the carolers are called Vukari or wolfmen. And they make their way from house to house, and they're carrying candles and lanterns, and their clothing is wet and muddy, as if they are the dead returning from the wet underworld domain of Veles. And I've mentioned this in the previous video. So this is part 2 of that. And songs were sung. And songs were pretty much incantations. These songs were called the Koliadki. And these songs were meant to bring blessings to the household. And the carolers would ask permission to perform for the family and be invited in. And then they would be able to give their blessings to the family, which meant that people in the household were like, come on, because they wanted the blessings. Also, they wanted to avoid the pranks. And with the introduction of Christianity, guess what? Those lyrics are going to change. And some are pretty obvious and some are less so. So I thought I would actually share like 3 of the English lyrics. And the first one that we're going to take a look at, this actually seems to refer to Perun, who became the chief god. So he would be the god of thunder and of justice and of war and all sorts of stuff. So there's references to sacrificing a goat. I mentioned that in the previous video. And, fertility thing. There's also a connection because the goat is an animal that's sacred. The reason the goat is considered sacred is because it's frequently used as a symbol of thunder, because goats pull Perun's chariot across the sky. So here's one of the songs. Beyond the river, the swift river, Oi Koliadka, there stand dense forests. In those forests, fires are burning, great fires are burning. Around the fires stand oaken benches. On those benches, the good youths, the fair maidens, sing Koliada songs. Koliadka, Koliadka. In their midst sits an old man. He sharpens his knife. A cauldron boils hotly. Near the cauldron stands a goat. They are going to kill the goat. Brother Ivanushka, Come forth, spring out. Gladly would I have sprung out, but the bright stone drags me down to the cauldron. The yellow sands have sucked dry my heart. O Koliadka, O Koliadka. Okay, you're going to be able to tell with some of the songs that, as far as the way the names show up, you can tell Christian names got basically put on the pre-Christian gods and goddesses, sort of like putting an ill-fitting tunic on someone. All right, just let's cover that up. Let's camouflage that. And so during the season of Koliada, it's divided into two halves in the pre-Christian era. The god Rod, he gets the first half. The god Veles, he gets the second half. So Rod, he's the creator god, and he makes Svarog, the divine smith. Think of Rod as kind of like, let's go to the Greeks, the Titans. Well, the Olympians are going to end up replacing the Titans. So Rod's going to get replaced later on. But Rod makes Svarog, the divine smith. And Svarog makes pretty much everything else. So Svarog is the shining hero who stirs up the whirlwind by fighting a hideous serpent or multi-headed dragon Zmei, who kills people indiscriminately. Svarog catches May with blacksmith's tongs and uses him to pull a plow. Later, it's Saints Boris and Gleb, or Kuzma Damian, Cosmas and Damien, who do this and create the snake ramparts. Here's a song about that. There comes a smith from the forge. Glory! The smith carries 3 hammers. Glory! Smith, smith, forge me a crown. Glory! Forge me a crown both golden and new. Glory! Forge from the remnants a golden ring. Glory! And from the chips a pin. Glory! In that crown will I be wedded. Glory! With that ring will I be betrothed. Glory! With that pin will I fasten the nuptial handkerchief. Glory! Glory! Now, this next song, it's pretty much like a trick-or-treating type thing. And that was part of what Koliada was about, is the carolers would go out and they would be singing and doing their skits, and what the people in the household were supposed to do was give gifts. And a lot of times that was food. But sometimes that happens to be coins. You can tell in this next song, this song could not be any earlier than 1535, because it mentions the kopek and the ruble. That's when those coins came out. And the kopek, very, very small value there. Ruble's big stuff. It does remind me of a particular Christmas carol where carolers are coming by and demanding, hey, give me figgy pudding. All right? So, here's our last Koliadka. Koliada, Koliada, open your gates. Pull out your chest boxes. Give us your 5 kopek coins. At least a ruble, at least a coin. We won't leave with empty hands. Well, that was a glimpse at what would take place during the festival of Koliada. And I'll be continuing to explore Slavic folklore and mythology and culture and history on this channel. I hope you stick with me. Do pobачення.